What is up, friends? I'm at the end of a long day and some awesome workout and a very exciting, for me, breakthrough in my foot strengthening. I haven't had a new cramp in a long time, and I discovered a new cramp today. It was a uniquely new cramp in that it was in my calf compartment and not in my foot itself. That's big. Cramps are not fun, not gonna lie, unless you're sick like me, and in which case you delight over the fact that on the other side of that cramp, you just know if you can chill, you're waking up new muscle tissue. You're waking up new muscles. You're coordinating the connective tissue that talks to those muscles. You're waking up all the muscles that are relying on that muscle doing its part. It's a big deal. Now, before I build this up, hype it up, and even hype up the anticlimax any further, the cramp I felt today was very strangely deep in my calf compartment, my sort of shin calf, my shin calf. What's going on with that? I suspect it was some peroneal longus action, okay? I don't know that for a fact, and I'm not sophisticated enough to insert a picture on the screen for you, aside from my own calf. But here we go. So what I felt was deep. Okay, so I can't, all you're gonna really see here is like the superficial muscles, right? Gastrocs and anterior tibialis, that kind of fun stuff. But deep in this calf, and it was sort of low. If I'm remembering it was a while ago. I wish I had been able to draw it on myself. But deep in this side calf compartment. And the reason this is exciting to me, above and beyond the fact that all cramps are exciting to me, foot and lower leg cramps, that is that I've been doing a lot of training on this foot to get more activation of the lateral side of the foot. Okay? Now, I'm very lucky. I'm not going to pretend that my feet don't have any lateral access. They didn't used to. I have pictures from 2018, 2017. I could not even move my digits. I couldn't even move these toes. And this isn't the best angle to see. And the amount of movement individuals get is going to be dependent on their foot type and their foot shape, and it's not a competition. But the point is they've come a long way. And as I've been working on this in gait, I actually made a video about this just yesterday, that I'm able to feel this breakover from heel strike, which we're aiming, sorry, I didn't draw that correctly, aiming for here. Not way out here, not right on the inside, definitely not on the inside, right? And again, not to bank over. You see that if your heels and your shoes are worn down on that outer edge, you're most likely crash landing super lateral and banking over super medial. You're just breaking over the foot, breaking over the foot, breaking over the foot. What's that look like? It's supposed to be a short video. Damn it, guys, it never happens. Oh. I'm already so annoyed with myself. I'm sorry already. But a lot of us are doing boom, boom. We just go from heel strike to overpronation. Heel strike to overpronation. Heel strike to overpronation. All right, that's why your overpronation shows up on the outside edge of your foot. You'd think, oh, if I'm overpronated, it's going to be on the inside. Maybe, unless the fact that you overpronate is in part because you have no ankle dorsiflexion, and so you just kind of bank your foot and then bottom out. Okay? All right, so without injuring my own feet and without making this video about that topic, the reason I'm talking about this is because one of the muscles that needs to support your foot in order to bear weight on the outside edge is the all-important peronealis group. Fibularis is it's also called. And it wraps down. There's two that we all have and a third that we don't all have, so I won't talk about that. But the longus and the brevis, and they both come under this awesome pulley system on the outside of the ankle, just like a lot of important muscles come down the inside pulley system, and they go under and they come through this sort of this big sort of winged part of the bone that you feel here. One attaches here and it helps you register that foot boom on the ground, and the other one wraps all the way around to the first metatarsal, and it combines with this shin muscle. So when I hit the ground and my toes are slightly lifted, slightly extended, talking to these guys, and then the heel strikes the ground, there's this amazing baton pass. We went from extensor, eccentrically loading the extensor muscles, right? As they lengthen, the foot's rolling down, these muscles are lengthening, these guys come into business and they're gonna pull, okay? These lengthen, these pull, right? It's often this relationship among, and also the posterior tibialis muscle, which really gets in on here to hold the arch up, speaking of overpronation, make this a really cool stirrup under the foot, right? Because our foot isn't just this direction. It has like the bone structure, it needs to be able to sort of off-road and negotiate, right? Both the ankle moving over the foot and the foot staying on the ground, right? I'm banking this way, I'm banking this way, but the foot is staying on the ground. It's because of the variability of movement I have at the ankle, where the tibia meets the foot itself, and because of the bone structure and this beautiful architecture inside the foot itself. So this stirrup helps control that action without it being too much towards ankle roll territory, meaning an injurious ankle roll where you pull in fact, some of the tissue we're talking about here and some important ligaments that keep that side of the ankle stable. Very important. It's one of the reasons this muscle has to be strong, so that when you start to roll that way, you can activate it. You can imagine it pulling under. You can activate it to get you out of ankle roll territory. The other thing that actually relates to this, okay, so one of the reasons that I think that it's hard for us to load the outside line of the foot is because this muscle, among its friends, whenever I say this muscle, it's always an oversimplification, okay? No muscle works in isolation. But this muscle and its collaborators is not very strong. And if your body knows that you can't go out onto that edge of that foot without overpowering yourself, because you don't have these muscles strong to pull you this way, right? Not because you overpronated out of collapsing, but because you muscularly righted yourself, okay? So again, these are the extremes, but even just for maintaining the neutral movement of my foot, I need the lateral stability. It actually reminds me of like the knee. The knee does not bend side to side, but there's a lot of musculature that helps prevent it from bending side to side so that it can go forward and back. And if you have a knee injury, the first thing they do is they stabilize you here so that you don't injure yourself by losing that stability and you can go forward and back. The foot has a lot, while the foot does have mobility here, it has to be controlled mobility, otherwise ankle roll and overpronation. Just to give two, also a number of other ailments and pain syndromes that people complain of because of a loss of control in this general range of motion. So we can't load the outside of our foot, which is a big deal because look how much of it there is. I'm not supposed to walk on my arch. I'm supposed to walk on the outside. Just like if you go to make a fist with your hand, you wouldn't just squeeze these fingers. You don't leave your pinky out, not just because it looks silly, but because these fingers and this whole beefy lateral side of my palm, as I've said elsewhere, is part of the grip strength. Imagine going to a chin-up, going to hold yourself to hang from something and leave those pinkies out. Just try. You cannot activate these muscles. Actually, I can even tell when I try to make a fist, this muscle, the side of the hand, distinctly feels soft, okay? So in the foot, because I actually walk on it, I'm sorry, I'm like looking down so crazy. I'm so good at making videos, guys. I was born to do this. Oh my God, now my foot's not in the fucking video. Okay, anyway, just talk to you for a second. Your foot isn't gonna let you try to bear weight. It's not gonna go there unless it knows it can keep you safe. If it goes there by accident and we roll our ankle, it especially won't let you go there again because it learns from that injury, okay? So on my left foot, I had something like that happen. I stepped on, in PE class, I stepped on like the side heater in the gym or whatever as I was running from someone playing tag, and I broke this metatarsal. Like I half stepped on it. I don't know, I was really trying to run against the wall. Who knows what I was doing, but I broke the metatarsal, the pinky metatarsal, I'm guessing. One of these third digit metatarsals. I'm guessing the pinky, which really sucks because that's really an important part of your foot tripod. Big toe, little toe, heel. And so for the longest time, I probably wasn't putting weight on those toes, not just when I was recovering as like a fourth grader or whatever, but for most of my life, I probably just wasn't using that foot well. And I will tell you, and I have other videos, I mentioned how I've felt those symptoms of not being able to use. I just told you a little while ago, I couldn't even move those toes. The fact that I wasn't moving those toes is because I wasn't using those muscles, right? And so they go to sleep. So the excitement here is that I've been working on this really hard. I've been thinking about my hip and the ability to load my glute on this side hip, which talks to the outside of this foot in particular, goes all the way down the posterior chain into the lateral side of the foot. Your whole glute system talks to your whole foot, your core talks to your feet. So again, oversimplifying, but there is a special relationship, the outside edge of that foot. Okay? Just like your pinky finger on your hand has different innervation from the thumb, right? It actually splits. So these fingers they're innervated, they're fed by different electricity from your brain for a reason. So if you're not able to use your fingers here, right, or your toes, you're not getting the full electrical charge of muscle activation that's supposed to control this piece of your body. So I've been practicing it. Even just yesterday, I made a video and I was pacing up and down here, micromanaging. I can't remember, it's called like baby steps, I was gonna call it. Baby steps to progress on this foot. Because I was really figuring out, like, how do I have to place my foot? What muscles do I have to engage when I land that foot in order to set it up for the next step to activate well? Because I was getting this breakover. Why? Because my breakover, meaning in my situation, it wasn't really a pronation. It was more of a split stance. I could kind of get halfway down the foot, and then I just couldn't get this beautiful roll from lateral to medial in the foot like I can on my right foot. So I knew what I was aiming for because of the discrepancy. So since I've been playing with this so much, to get a breakthrough today, when I was just pointing my feet and doing my foot strengthening stuff, right? Point, squeeze, radiate, grip strength for your feet, right? Just really try to get those feet stronger. Again, see other videos about the specifics of foot exercising, although it's pretty straightforward. Squeezing my feet, and I cramped out in that exact spot. Which to me, optimistically, has me thinking that the work I've been doing at my glute and at my foot to really try to convince my foot to go there, to let it know it's safe, use that lateral side of the foot, use those toes. Boom, it's telling me, that cramp is telling me this muscle wasn't doing what it probably could have, and it's starting to come back alive. And that, 12 minutes in, that's what I freaking live for this. I train for this. It's what I want to share with you, because with discipline, like the story yesterday with the baby steps, it's frustrating. You have to stare. I've made the comparison before that like retraining your motor patterns is like training a puppy, like a hyper puppy. You can't just go for those walks when the puppy's young. I know you want to, puppy's little, and you just want to get out of the house with it and burn its energy, but it's gonna be obnoxious, and you have to pause every time it acts up and have your little, whatever your correction is with the puppy, right? You're gonna stop, you're not gonna look at it, you're gonna let it dance around until it calms down, and then you walk again, okay? Whatever your intervention is for your puppy, you have to have something similar with your body. It's trying, but it doesn't know what you want, and every time you can get a positive result, a step that feels good, that breakover, oh, what did I do? What helped? Notice the patterns, and when you're doing it compulsively wrong or just powering through bad movement patterns that are hurting your foot because there's no pain, no gain, or you're just frustrated with it. It is frustrating. It's a slow process, but you can get breakthroughs. So I'm going to stop my preachiness about this now. I got real excited, but this is what I freaking live for. I live for the breakthroughs, and I'm pumped about this one because I feel like it's in part something that I created. I feel like I created that ability to activate that muscle from the determination, and I'm going to keep you guys posted. If I'm proven wrong, I'm proven wrong, but I feel pretty good about this one.